So, Thomas, we're a long way from home. Where are we?
We are about a stone's throw from the Arctic Circle in northern Sweden, taking a look at the all-new Tiguan, which will be launching in the European market in just a few weeks' time and be coming to Canada next year as an all-new 2018 model.
So we're getting a drive at about a year and a half before it comes to Canada.
Correct.
All right, so Tiguan has been a good seller, but it's a bit out of step with a lot of the market because it's quite small, right? This is going to change all that.
Tiguan has been a great seller for us. Last year we did over 11,000 units, but if you look at the top sellers in the compact sport utility segment, they're all selling more, and we're hearing the reason for that is they're offering a bit more space. The Tiguan is a great car. Dynamically, it's excellent. It affords a great level of drivability, comfort, it's sporty, it does everything right, but our customers are telling us we'd love to have a bit more space. That's what this one is all about. It's bigger than the previous generation Tiguan by a noticeable margin, and the one we're going to get in Canada is bigger still. It's going to be 110 millimeters longer than the version that the Europeans will get this year. And actually, the Europeans have gotten pretty interested. Once they saw our game plan, they said, hey, we could use a long wheelbase version as well. So it looks like Europe will be getting the long wheelbase as well.
So what I found interesting, I didn't know until today, is the next generation Tiguan, that bigger one for Canada, the long wheelbase, will have an option of 3 rows.
That is correct. This is something that we've not had in the Volkswagen lineup since we lost the Route 10 minivan a few years back. Something that is...
Thank goodness. Yeah, okay.
We'll leave that for another day. A people mover, and we're going on a bit of an SUV offensive next year. We're introducing an all-new large 7-passenger sport utility in addition to this new redesigned Tiguan, both of which will have the ability to carry up to 7 passengers. The Tiguan is going to start off as a 5-seater. So a 5-passenger car, but with the increased wheelbase, we're going to make it optional to add a third bench seat in the back. So for families that are just a little bit bigger, they're going to have the opportunity to add that extra seat in the rear.
Okay, so you're going to have a larger Tiguan with the ability to take up to 7 passengers, a full-size 3-row SUV. Where does that leave the Touareg?
Well, the Touareg really is our premium offering in the sport utility segment. It's going to remain as a 5-passenger car. There's no plans to stretch the wheelbase. We just introduced a new version of the Touareg last year, so it's still pretty fresh on the market, and our intention is to continue with that as our premium offering. It's obviously very richly appointed. It's got all the latest driver aids and such, and it's priced accordingly as well. So the 2 vehicles below it, that being the new Tiguan we're talking about now, and the larger sport utility that'll come out of our Chattanooga plant, they're going to be priced right in the sweet spot of the North American sport utility segment.
So let me get this straight. The new 7-passenger will be less expensive than the Touareg.
Oh, significantly less expensive than the Touareg.
So why don't they just make a shorter wheelbase 5-passenger version, call it a Touareg, but be able to drop the price?
That's something that is very much on the table right now.
Because I know you've shown a concept of sort of a chopped roof version at one of the auto shows. What was that one called? Something blue.
Usually there's the word blue associated with most of our concepts. And yes, we did show a fastback version of this concept last year at the auto show circuit. And that's something that's very much on the table right now that we're in consideration with. We want to get that 7-passenger version out there as soon as we can, which will be early next year, and see what the market acceptance is like. If the Canadian public responds greatly, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a shortened wheelbase version of that in the not too distant future.
So that sounds like yes, that's what's going to happen.
It's a definite maybe.
Okay, let's get back to this Tiguan. Now, we're a year and a half away. You're getting close to finalizing the trims and what you're going to have in here. So right out of the gate, I'm guessing the highest spec 4-cylinder turbocharged engine gasoline that they have in Europe will be the one that we get, which is 200 horsepower. That's the current power plant, right?
That sounds about right. The one thing our customers have definitely not said to us is that we need more horsepower. Right now in the compact sport utility segment, Tiguan really is a leader. With 200 horsepower from our turbocharged direct injection 4-cylinder engine, we're right up there. The car is fast, it's powerful, yet at the same time it's very fuel efficient. So we're getting no complaints whatsoever on that. So what we'll do is we'll offer the most refined and newest version of that engine in the new spec Tiguan. We're still ironing out the details, as you say, in terms of trim, exact engine transmission combinations and such. And
because the European one, they've said, will have all come with the DSG, not firm yet for North America.
that is correct. Also, there's slight variations in taste when it comes to transmissions in North America. Our DSG, or double clutch transmission, it's very sporty. It's essentially, as you know, a manual transmission that is computer actuated. So it's a manual without a clutch. In North America, that translates very well for our sportier offerings like the GTI and the Golf R and such. We're waiting to see if it's going to be acceptable to the consumer that's looking for a more effortless driving experience where you're feeling no shifts, everything is super silky smooth. Our traditional automatics have worked very well in that application, and we may go that route with Tiguan. We may go DSG. Remains to be seen. We've got about another 12 months to figure out the final spec.
All right, now this vehicle, the engineering was done years ago, and there was a whole lot of effort making this vehicle bigger in order to fit the urea tank that will allow you to have TDI engine in here. So all the engineering was done for North America to get the diesel offering. Here we are with this big cloud hanging over what's going to get sorted out. But the hope, in my opinion, I'm not putting words in your mouth, is that all of this will pass in the next 18 months and you can get all of that sorted. So you're going to be able to bring a TDI in this vehicle.
Absolutely. One of the most asked questions of Volkswagen Canada over the last 5 years is, when are you going to offer diesel in the Tiguan? And our game plan from day one was with the second generation vehicle, the one that we're talking about right now. That would mark the introduction of TDI, and that's the plan right now. With the launch date of summer 2017, we're very confident that this TDI situation will be well behind us. We'll have everything ironed out. The engineering is done. Europe is getting the diesel, obviously, and we anticipate that it'll be a non-issue in North America by then. Between then and now, we've got a few more things to work out with the authorities, with the EPA and CARB and such.
Because you have a fix and an approval from the European authority, right?
Yes, indeed. The European fix is already well underway, and they're already bringing cars into compliance over there. It's just a matter now of getting the I's dotted and the T's crossed to make sure that we're on side with the EPA to proceed with a proper process in North America.
But no announcements yet officially.
Nothing as of yet, no.
Okay, so the goal is to have gas and diesel. We'll have to wait and see what the final details. Now, bigger vehicle, more tech. There's an all-new 4Motion all-wheel drive system included in this vehicle. Watch the review. And but there's always pressure on Canadian car manufacturers on price. Every year there's more tech added into cars, but nobody seems to have the appetite to raise the price. So you expect this to be on par with what you're offering now?
Indeed. And you hit it right on the head when you say competitive pricing. The compact sport utility segment is the fastest growing segment. You can't get in fast enough. You can't offer enough products in that lineup. And it's soon going to be the largest segment. The compact car segment is slowly shrinking. Compact sport utility is exploding. We want to be in there. As I said at the outset of this interview, we have an SUV explosion coming with Volkswagen. We know it's not just important to have the right vehicle, but you have to have the right vehicle at the right price. So we know that whether this is the best one we've ever built or what have you, it also has to be in the sweet spot for pricing. So I'm quite confident that our product designers are working with our colleagues in Germany. Now, if the Canadian dollar can hold its head above water, that would be helpful, but I'm sure we'll be right where we need to be to make this car a real hit in the Canadian market.
Yeah, a lot has changed in 6 months for Volkswagen, and a lot can change in the next 18 months as this gets closer to market. But having driven it now, it's head and shoulders above the old car in terms of refinement. It's built on the current generation Golf platform. This is the first SUV to be built on MQB.
Yes, we announced the MQB platform way back in 2012. And at the time, we said it would form the foundation for over 40 projects group wide. This Tiguan will mark the first time we have an SUV onto this MQB platform, and you've seen the results. The stiffness in the chassis allows the suspension to do what it's supposed to without bringing in any noise, vibration, or harshness into the cabin. It allows the car to handle better, but at the same time, it's lighter. So it really has the best of both worlds. It's smoother, it's quieter, it's more comfortable, it handles better, but because of the lightness, it also returns better fuel efficiency.
Actually, we are here in Sweden, and one of the head chassis designer and suspension designer for all of the MQB cars is here from Germany, and he said that the body, even though it's bigger than the last Tiguan, substantially bigger, it's 50 kilos lighter.
Absolutely. And that's something that you can only do when you invest an awful lot of money into a project. And with MQB, because we knew it would be used throughout the Volkswagen Group lineup, that's Volkswagen, Audi, and our sister brands, we knew that we were going to be able to amortize the costs over such a big project. So what we did was we invested very heavily into MQB, and the first car launched on that for Volkswagen was the all-new Golf, and we know how that went. The car is an award winner across the globe. It's a top seller. It's one of the top selling vehicles in Canada, and we expect similar results from Tiguan, because when you start with something that is stiff and firm and substantial, it allows the rest of the car to do what it needs to. That's what MQB contributes to the Volkswagen lineup.
Well, Thomas, it has been a real treat to fly. We flew all the way here to Sweden for one day. Actually, I think we were here for a full day, and then for flying home again. But worth it to come all this way to see this beautiful countryside and experience this new Tiguan. Best of luck.
Thanks, Zach.
Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. To watch a full review of the all-new Volkswagen Tiguan, click the picture on the left.